did pull this one out because Baltimore came in and looked good early. 19 degrees when this thing started. Warm and toasty for the hoodie. John Harbaugh, beg your pardon, not affected by the cold. And nor was
Jim was
Joe.
Probably there, too.
What's that?
Jim was probably there,
Jim might have been there.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco, can he go in to Foxborough and do it again? 13 touchdowns, no picks in his last 5 postseason games, and he started this one just as he had played the other 5. The opening drive, Kamar Aiken, a 19-yard touchdown.
Who was that?
Kamar Aiken. It's a veritable who's he on the opening drive, Jamie Dukes. 19-yard touchdown to take a 7-0 lead. They would get the ball back. Patriots didn't do anything, and Joe Flacco went to work again. Steve Smith Sr., a gain of 16. And then 5 plays later, it's Steve Smith Sr., yet again, top of your screen, against Darrelle Revis.
Here again, Darrelle Revis, man-oh-man. Good job by Steve Smith getting the inside release on Darrelle Revis. Touchdown, bobbles it, but sure-handed, huge play because Steve Smith has been stifled by Darrelle Revis.
Why do you give him the inside? Let Steve Smith go to the
corner.
corner.
No, but the problem is he's too strong. In other words, Steve Smith is not one of those guys. That wasn't his intention. He's playing man-to-man coverage, but Steve is such a strong player. You know, that's just one for the good guys as they look at it.
Well, Patriots were down 14-0 early, and then finally Brady got to work. This was a big drive. They needed this badly. Hit Gronkowski there for the gain of 16. Next play from scrimmage. From the 40, he's got to look for Gronk again down the left seam, and he hit him for 40 yards.
I think he's the most unstoppable force in the National Football League. You can't defend him with a cornerback. You can't defend him with a safety.
Ran 2 verticals with the tight end, picked the tight end with more skills, and then Brady ran it in.
Tom with the legs, nimble. Tom Brady looks a whole lot better than he looked when he ran during the combine in those pictures we've seen from years past.
4-yard touchdown, 14-7. You know Brady's fired up when he spikes it that angrily. And that was an angry spike. And he's also probably angry that, well, Pernell McPhee kind of stood over him after a sack. And we have pushing and shoving and a fired-up Tom Brady.
Yeah, they want to fight, man. That's what this is all about. Tom Brady, a feisty guy.
Patriots ended up punting on that drive. They get it back again, and here Brady again to Gronk, 23 yards. But Brady is taking hits, and he took a lot of hits in this game in the first half. In the second half, he's slow to get up. His line helping him as he bends over.
Yeah, he'll be in the tub tonight soaking it all up. But the Baltimore Ravens, you'll see right there,
Timmy Jernigan.
They do a great job of getting pressure all day long. But Tom stood in there, made the throws, led the team.
A low throw here, but Danny Amendola dug it out. Now look at this move.
Yeah, nice. And again, it's about breaking tackles. It's about yak yards. But again, the weather, the elements, that ball is like a shot put out there when it's cold like that. Tom had the ball in the vicinity. Receiver made the play.
And we're tied at 14. Patriots hold serve, get it back, give it back to Tom. Look at the clock here. They're near midfield, a minute to go, trying to get a score on the board before the end of the half. But Brady gets picked by Darrell Smith, and no one knew what he saw there. Had Smith and Trell covered, didn't try to put it over his head, threw it right to Darrell Smith. It's the first turnover of the game, and now Flacco has a shot right before the half, and he's going to draw a pass interference call on Darrelle Revis.
I didn't quite understand the pass interference aspect of it. I understand the illegal contact. I don't see pass interference, especially when the ball was thrown there. I don't know. That was one of those plays, but again, sometimes great guys don't get the call.
First DPI against Revis accepted all year, and Flacco made it count 3 plays later to Owen Daniels.
Owen Daniels has been a really bright spot. A lot of people talked about Dennis Pitta this year. He really didn't make it happen this year. Great job by Owen Daniels.
Dante Hightower on the coverage there. Brady, gave it right back to Flacco, and Flacco was able to cash in, took advantage of that mistake. We're 21-14. We're now opening minute, third quarter. Brady to Gronkowski, broken up by C.J. Mosley. Gronk wants a flag. Mosley could have been called. What do you think?
He's right there. It's close. Obviously, the officials erring on the side of caution. He's got that bionic elbow there. Maybe it's hard to see with the glove. But, I'm good with the no call.
Patriots had to punt. Ravens now on 4th down. They take a shot on 4th and 6, Dukes.
This is a great play when you think about Smith and Torrey Smith and what he does. He makes sure he draws the PI first. He brings the contact back and then catches the ball. Nice play.
They get a DPI. They also get a taunting call on Torrey Smith, so they back it up to the 16, and this is how they score. With Justin Forsett down the right sideline, untouched on a check down to make it 28-14. So once again, it's a 14-point lead. Brady brings him back. Gronkowski to 28-21.
Great job by Tom Brady recognizing there was a blitz on right there. He held Gronkowski outside, and they threw it for the touchdown.
And then this, the play of the game. Julian Edelman, the former Kent State quarterback, to Danny Amendola. 51-yard touchdown. Josh McDaniels dialed up the trickery, and it worked.
Little trickeration right there. Good job you're going to see, and good throw. Danny Amendola, as you mentioned. He's a guy that's kind of been left out of there when you think about it. The odd man out because of the emergence of Julian Edelman.
First pass as a Patriot, yet he came to the Patriots, Julian Edelman did, as a college quarterback, then turned into a wide receiver. Now 28-all. 3.5 to go. And here's Flacco's first big mistake. Picked off by Devin McCourty. It's Flacco's first pick at 197 postseason pass attempts, the first one since the 2011 AFC title game. Wow. The Patriots go 3 and out, and Flacco gets new life. He fumbles here, sacked by Jamie Collins. The ball's going to get recovered inside the 5, but you saw the DPI on Revis. They're going to get holding on Revis here on Steve Smith, and this one was a good call.
Second penalty you're going to see right here. It's hard to cover the draw right there. Wow. I mean, that was just kind of an undressing of the guy right there. But again, the old salty veteran, he didn't get away with it. Huge play.
So, again, not a turnover. Ravens keep the ball. Now we move to the fourth quarter. This is the same drive. They're going the other way. And again, it's 4th and 1. And again, they get it. Kyle Juszczyk, gain of 11. He was down. They keep it. Not a fumble. 5 plays later, Owen Daniels cannot hang on. This was a 16-play drive, and it could have been a touchdown.
Yeah, here's a play right here, and that situation right there. Good job by the defense, and Owen, who had a huge game today, just couldn't make the play.
So Justin Tucker, field goal, 25-yarder, gives the Ravens the lead, 31-28. Patriots now, Brady, plenty of time. You see the clock here, not even 7 to go. Here it hits Amendola, nice. First down on second effort. Then Brandon LaFell, 23-yard touchdown.
Drop it in the bucket right there. You talk about a guy. That's why, and by the way, I believe this is number 9. He'll be attending his 9th championship game. Yeah, he's pretty good.
And he also passes Joe Montana, most postseason touchdowns. Now, the Ravens get it. Flacco tripped here. He kind of flicked it to Forsett. Bill Belichick might have wanted a fumble, a grounding. Either way. All right, so they go for it, 4th and 3. And here's the one where Flacco once again comes through. Hits Daniels on 4th and 3, 17 to the 41. The Ravens 3 for 3 on 4th down. You see the clock here. It takes you up to the 2-minute warning. Now at 1:46 on a 2nd and 5. Here's where the game ended. Flacco takes a shot, picked off by Duron Harmon.
And the thing about it, there was no need for him to get impatient because they've been doing such a good job, and they had plenty of time to move the ball up and down the field. Really bad decision by Joe Flacco. And they, at the end of the game here, the little Hail Mary. Great job by New England.
Batting it,
there. Yeah, but it batted it out of the end zone, so that was a smart play on their part.
What a game. Flacco got one more shot at it after the Patriots were forced to punt with 14 seconds to go. Congratulations to Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and the New England Patriots. The 1 over the 6 in the AFC. 35-31, as the AFC Championship game will be next Sunday in Foxborough. Brady, 33 of 50, 367, and 3 touchdowns. He also ran for a touchdown.
All right, I got Irv, I got Prime, I got Marshall, I got a highlight, I got a hoodie, and I got a highlight. In New England, rainy New England. Tom Brady's fired up, trying to go to the Super Bowl for a 6th time. Andrew Luck trying to go for a 1st. It's a battle of 12s in New England. And Josh Cribbs with the first mistake of the day. After both teams exchanged, got defenses to get their offenses off the field, Josh Cribbs just put one off the face.
How the ball hit you in your head, man?
Interesting. Both of those games started today with some turnovers.
So New England,
after that,
as we all know, jammed Jonas Gray down the Colts' throat back in Week 11. Today it was LeGarrette Blount's time, and he did this against the Colts in the divisional round last year. And LeGarrette Blount was just running downhill, just going nonstop, and then eventually he burst into the end zone here.
Just falling in the end zone, just like he fell right into a Super Bowl right here after walking off
of the Steelers. Yeah, how about that? So Cribbs' mistake leads to 7, and there he is with the Minutemen.
Falling into
game over right there. I felt that too, but Andrew Luck comes up, steps up in the pocket, and was moving the ball down the field, but then Boom Herron goes bust right there, off his hands, and then on the wheel route,
go to him again,
off the hand.
Yeah,
and then Adam Vinatieri The short-footed Adam Vinatieri, who the Patriots know so well, would come out from 51 yards away.
This is the worst miss I've ever seen him have.
And Adam Vinatieri,
the wind took
he
that.
missed it. So Brady had a shorter field. And with that, Shane Vereen on his own wheel route on a linebacker. He makes the grab despite the interference that wasn't called, actually.
That was pressure again for the young man for Indy.
30-yard gain with Jarrell Freeman covering, and then on 3rd and 9, Julian Edelman moving the chains.
Boom.
And then 2 plays later, what do? You find James Devlin.
Just
That's a big boy.
just fight.
So you got the fullback going in the end zone for a touchdown. He did declare himself as eligible, by the way. We'll have more of that discussion in a moment.
They
about
did
who's
it
eligible
again.
and who wasn't. Second quarter, 14-0. Brady picked DeQuell Jackson with a big interception over the middle as he was going for Rob Gronkowski. So
Good play by DeQuell.
a plus side of the field turnover for Brady. What would Luck do with it? Well, he'd begin to move the ball down the field. 3rd and 8, puts it up for T.Y. Hilton, who toe taps with a grab.
What a great grab that was. And I thought just an excellent throw.
36 yards.
Look at
Belichick
that.
reached into his sock, but did not throw the flag because that was after the replay showed
was
a
great.
good
Resock
catch.
it.
That was
He
all
did
for T.Y.
resock it. 5 plays later, it's Luck to Kobe Fleener over the middle, and he reaches into the end zone, and the ball comes loose. He was ruled down by contact.
Just doesn't look like Gronk when he has the football.
At the half-yard line, Zerlon Tipton gets in the end zone. So we've got a Devlin, we've got a Tipton, and now we've got Edelman getting it down the field on 3rd and 2, moving the chains.
Listen, this
Edelman
guy.
played with
Tell me
that.
something about this man right here.
I'm going to say, outside of Tom Brady, the most valuable player on this team. You think about plays that has been made either in the return game or in the receiving game.
That's Edelman you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Blunt was running downhill nonstop.
Yeah,
He was
nobody
unstoppable.
wanted to hit it.
Yeah, I get that. No one wanted to hit him, right? The 3rd and 1 play action. Now it's time
What a great
for
play.
Nate Solder, tackle eligible.
It's just, this is brilliant stuff this man does. He thinks of this stuff and he puts it in at perfect time.
Everybody run that play. Nobody run it past the 10.
They don't-
Normally it's on the 1. They knew Solder could get in from there.
3rd
Brilliant
and
stuff
8.
this man does.
So it's
That's
now
what I'm saying.
14 unanswered, and Luck
I'm
goes
with
3
you.
and out.
About to get ugly.
Well, here comes
It's ugly
Blunt
already.
downhill again.
Blunt ran like I've never seen him run. He ran like a free agent today.
Yeah,
He ran like he ran last year against the Colts.
That's
Yeah, but it was
Alone.
something different.
So
though.
on
I've seen
3rd
it
and 1,
before.
Rob
Trust
Gronkowski in the end zone, and here comes the Gronk spike.
Yeah, they were coming back to that.
So we've seen Blunt score, we've seen Devlin score, we've seen
Love
Solder
Blunt,
score, and now the more
I love
conventional play, Brady to Gronkowski, and the boat race
Like that
is
scout
on
team defense.
amidst
Scout
the
team
falling
quarterback.
rain. And here is Darrell Revis with the pick.
Look at that. Darrell
He's
Reeves
good,
getting
man.
in that, man. D. Reeves going to the Super Bowl, y'all. That's all right.
Get with Brady. Good thing
Yeah,
that.
with the Patriots. The Patriots
Going to
going
the
is
Super
tough for the Jets fans to handle. Yeah, that's the wound. The salt would be Revis
How
with
do you know that,
a
Rich?
ticket-punching
Revis.
interception.
Right. How do you know
I
that,
grew up
Rich?
in Staten Island, sir. I know the Jets. I do
Revis
trust
is
it.
going
Blunt in the
to
end
a
zone for a
Super Bowl.
13-yard score. And Tom Brady and the New England Patriots are back in the Super Bowl again. Back in the place, by the way, where the Tyree catch went down. So perhaps he and the hoodie and everybody else can exercise those ghosts against the Seattle Seahawks 2 weeks from tonight in Super Bowl 49 after a 45-point day in the AFC Championship game. It wasn't even close.
The NFL revealed today that the footballs for the AFC Championship were all checked by officials before the game and found to be legal. But after that check, something happened to the balls owned by the New England Patriots. In a statement today, the NFL confirmed that during the game, those balls were found to be underinflated, which can make them easier to grip. The Patriots crushed the Indianapolis Colts and are headed to the Super Bowl. Anna Werner is following this.
The NFL may not know how those underinflated balls got on the field, but they were tossed out at halftime. All second-half game balls were checked at the end of the game and remained in compliance. League rules stipulate that each team provides 12 footballs before each game. The NFL's investigation is squarely focused on the ones the Patriots provided. The NFL has hired both a law firm and an investigative firm that it said has sophisticated forensic expertise to assist in reviewing electronic and video information.
It was very serious. This is a very serious, topic.
Investigators have conducted 40 interviews, but reportedly none with Tom Brady or any players for that matter. A players' union representative would have to be present for any interviews.
Quarterbacks are finicky.
Scott Zolak is a former backup quarterback for the Patriots in the 90s. He hosts a radio show for CBS affiliate WBZ in Boston. As a backup, he would prepare footballs for the starting quarterback.
We'd take that and we'd rub the brush. We'd have, like a shoe polish brush or a scrub brush, and you just grind that down and press those. Now we would deflate it some because you want it more oblong, so you could cut the air and just spin it right through that air.
The NFL acknowledged that rules may have been violated that would harm the integrity of the game. It's a brand that made $9.5 billion in 2013 and is charging $4.5 million for every 30-second Super Bowl commercial. Joe Favorito is a sports media consultant. He says so far there's no sign that this season's bad headlines have had a negative impact on the business of professional football.
If you're a big business like that, you have to listen to the fans, and probably more importantly are the brands. How are the brands reacting to what it is that you're doing? Because at the end of the day, the brands are a reflection of what society and what the fans are doing as well.
The league says it will be conducting additional interviews in the days ahead, Scott, making it seem increasingly likely that questions about how deflated footballs got into a championship game won't be answered before the biggest game of all next Sunday.
And the league made a point today of saying that the Patriots are cooperating completely. Anna, thank you very much.
Here's the most important question we wanted to answer in Deflategate. Is playing with an underinflated ball actually an advantage? In the ESPN Sports Science Lab, we tested balls under various conditions and with different air pressure. In our test, we found that an average person, like myself, could indent the ball more, but only by less than 1 millimeter. And based on our calculations, a typical NFL player, whether throwing or receiving, could apply roughly 1.5% more force to the ball. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the grip is better for a quarterback, since how a QB likes to grip the ball is really a matter of personal preference. So we also tested the flight of the ball. We found that decreasing the air pressure by 2 pounds per square inch reduces the ball's mass by about the weight of a dollar bill. Consequently, over the course of its flight, all else being equal, the deflated ball's average velocity is actually reduced. For example, on a 20-yard pass released at 50 miles per hour, the underinflated ball will actually arrive 0.03 of a second later. That means a typical defender traveling at top speed could cover an extra inch. That's about the length from the tip of your middle finger to your first knuckle. Since this contest wasn't decided by a fingertip, the alleged deflation certainly didn't affect the outcome of the game. And based on our analysis, underinflated balls had a minuscule effect on any given play. But there was one environmental issue that could have had a much bigger impact, at least from a physics perspective: the rain. Water clinging to the pebbled surface of a football can add as much as half an ounce of weight. That's 10 times more of a weight differential than the disputed inflation issue. For ESPN Sports Science, I'm John Brinkus.
Deflategate seems to be getting bigger and bigger. New reports now that the Patriots may have used those underinflated footballs in several other games this season.
Let me tell you, it is a story that has this whole studio buzzing right now, talking there at home, I'm sure, as well. We're going to talk to Michael and Jesse Palmer here live just ahead, but first, ABC's Ryan Smith is in the Patriots' hometown of Foxborough with the latest. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, Robin. The NFL investigation into Deflategate continues. They could have a decision by the end of the week. But now we're learning this isn't the first time the Indianapolis Colts have complained about the Patriots and their footballs. As Super Bowl media availability begins this morning, the world eagerly waits to see how Patriots head coach Bill Belichick and his 3-time Super Bowl winning quarterback Tom Brady will respond to the series of new allegations that the Patriots may have tampered with footballs before. Sources telling our sister network ESPN, the Indianapolis Colts complained during this regular season game on November 16th after Colts safety Mike Adams intercepted 2 balls he thought were deflated. Patriots quarterback Tom Brady even talking about deflated footballs during this 2011 interview while joking about tight end Rob Gronkowski.
Spikes the ball and he deflates the ball, which I love that because I like, the deflated ball.
End zone, touchdown! As for Sunday's game, league sources tell ESPN that 11 of 12 footballs the Patriots used to beat the Colts were underinflated by 2 pounds per square inch. The NFL telling ABC News the balls were properly inspected and approved 2 hours and 15 minutes before the game. Experts say the only time the Patriots could have deflated the balls was in the minutes before kickoff or during the game on the sidelines, with cameras watching. So I wanted to see how long it could take to do just that. Just like that. What's that? 3-4 seconds.
Right.
And ESPN Sports Science tackling another question this morning. Does an underinflated ball actually help?
A typical NFL player, whether throwing or receiving, could apply roughly 1.5% more force to the ball.
Around the country, the Pats have taken on an aura of an evil empire, with headlines this morning blaring, "The Patriots should be disqualified from the Super Bowl," and "deflating the ball beneath most, but this is the Pats." However, don't tell that to the people of Boston.
Our teams are the best teams, and for somebody to condemn the Patriots, they're idiots.
If the balls were inflated or not inflated, who cares?
Overnight, Colts quarterback Andrew Luck addressing Deflategate for the first time.
It's sort of the energy, is sort of sucked out of you. You do feel deflated.
Brady was among a group of quarterbacks who successfully lobbied the NFL to let teams use their own footballs on offense. And while many say deflating the football 2 pounds barely makes a difference, others say if the Patriots did it intentionally, it's about playing the game the right way, Robin.
Okay, Ryan, we're going to bring in ESPN and SEC Network football analyst Jesse Palmer, former quarterback in the NFL, of course, with the Florida Gators, and our Michael Strahan. And look at our crew. I mean, they're waiting to weigh in because people are they can't get enough of this. Jesse, as a QB, what real difference does it make?
Right. Well, so this is an inflated football, and this is a deflated football. And I think the biggest advantage in this game, playing in cold weather, wet weather, like they were in the AFC title game, it allows a quarterback to squeeze the football harder. And therefore, it gives you more control and more accuracy when you're throwing the football downfield. This is a much easier football to catch, the deflated one. I think it's also easier to carry for ball carriers. It's harder to fumble when you're carrying this football. I think those would be the advantages that the Patriots may have had in the AFC.
And every team, they bring their own. People don't understand this because they're thinking, well, aren't the Colts playing with the same ball?
Right.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, everybody has their own ball. The kickers have their own separate balls as well. But the biggest thing from a defensive standpoint, you would look and I would think, okay, if I get a shot on you as the quarterback, there's a great opportunity to strip the ball away unless you're able to really grip it a lot better. And it does make a big difference. And I think that this is just something that when you look at just in the spirit of the game, that if it was done, is not in the spirit of the game
How would you
within
feel?
the rules.
How would you feel here on the field and this happens?
Well, as a fan and as a football observer and somebody who covers the sport, I don't think the Colts would have won the game anyway. But as a fan, it puts a damper on the win. It puts a damper on the Patriots. And this is somebody with an owner who's one of the most revered owners in the league, with a coach who's probably one of the greatest coaches.
And that's really
ever.
the thing, Robert. On the field, I don't think this was that big of an advantage. They won the game 45-7. It wasn't because of deflated footballs. They ran better, they tackled better, they blocked better. They were the better team. The bigger picture here, I think, is ethics, cheating, and keeping the integrity of the game.
And the Colts said the same thing, but this is when our studio jumps in. It does matter. It does matter. I mean, yes, it doesn't affect the outcome of the game, but what, hearing from a lot of parents, especially mothers, saying, what kind of message does this send to kids?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And if you cheat and you don't get caught, you can get away with it, and it's okay. That's a terrible message.
What happened to cheaters
That's
don't
not
prosper?
right. Right,
Except
absolutely.
in this case.
That's the problem with this thing right now. And I really think everybody loses in this. Yeah. I think anytime the integrity of cheating comes up, it's a black eye for the NFL, it's a black eye for the New England Patriots. What about the referees that never spotted the football?
Down
They touched the ball every play. If the football was really deflated, disrupted this much. Someone is spotting a football. You got to stop the game. That's something that's never been brought up. The referees, I think, are at fault in this just as much as everybody else.
Okay, guys, let's let the everyday person.
What do you guys think?
It's not the second time.
It's not right.
Second time they got caught.
Won that game.
I think the NFL says that it's a $25,000 fee for altering a game ball. Fine.
Yeah.
So it's a misdemeanor, right?
Notice he's wearing a Patriots sweatshirt.
Biased opinion. You know, it's funny because even in that piece, the guy said, well, it's not a big deal. He was a Patriots fan. To be a Patriots fan is not a big deal. But I think in the spirit of the game, it is a big deal. And as we were saying earlier, some people who say, well, why are they even playing? They should be out of it completely. I don't think that's going to happen. But at some point, there has to be some kind of rules and standards that are set so that this doesn't happen again, because cannot continue to happen, especially with one team being accused of so much.
That's right. Michael, Jesse, good to see you again.
And we've never cheated.
No, because we were never trying.
We'll leave it at that. George?
Okay, I cannot wait to see what the NFL does about this.
Super Bowl 49. Russell Wilson, of course, he got picked off 4 times in the NFC title game and still won. Hey, somebody got some skills before the game, and Tom Brady looking for that 4th ring along with the always emotional Bill Belichick. How about early on in the game, Brady looking and picked off by the president of the Rob Gronkowski fan club. That is Jeremy Lane in the end zone. It's a red zone turnover. However, broken wrist. Lane was done for the day, and the Patriots certainly took advantage of that. However, he kept the game scoreless. On to the second quarter. We are tied at 7, and Brady, under 2 minutes to go. Me Rob Gronkowski, me catch football, and me do Gronk spike. Patriots led the NFL with 66 points in the final 2 minutes of the first half during regulation. They're up 7. But watch this. Russell Wilson. Oh, Jamie Collins, you're a great athlete. But what in the world happened? That is a first down, so they got time. And then how about this? Russell Wilson. Ricardo Lockett. Plus, we're going to tack on a penalty, so the Seahawks move it down to the 11-yard line with 6 ticks left. They're not going to kick the field goal. They're going to go for the touchdown. And where are they going to turn to? Hardball with Chris Matthews. He caught his first NFL pass in this game. He also scored his first NFL touchdown. Best known for recovering the onside kick in the NFC Championship game. Pete Carroll's pumped up because we're tied at 14.
What a throw and what a play by that young man Matthews.
On to the third quarter. Pats down 3. 3rd and 9. Brady looking for Gronk. But how about the play, Michael Irvin, by Bobby Wagner?
Man, and I talked about Bobby Wagner in the pregame, man. What a great player. Since he got back on that defense has taken off. He is certainly the leader of that pack.
Richard Sherman chuckling on the sideline, and the Patriots aren't laughing after this. Doug Baldwin nearly trips over his own feet. Scores the touchdown. Deion, that's your buddy scoring. However, he was flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. But watch the pick by the ref.
Great pick by the referee. Reeves did the best he can. That was a great route, though. You got to give Baldwin credit. And I don't like that right there what Richard Sherman done. I don't like it. He's too good for that.
Yep. Tom, and he did do a good job in climbing to take Darrelle Revis up on that under route.
On to the 4th. Patriots down 10 against the best defense in the league. But Brady to Danny Amendola, and they are within 3. Keep in mind, no team had ever come back from a larger deficit than 7 points in the final quarter of a Super Bowl, and certainly not against a defense like this. But then Brady, after a quick 3 and out, Rob Gronkowski, me catch football, me move chains.
I wanted to see that matchup, Cam Chancellor against Gronk, and Gronk got the better on that play right there.
Then Julian Edelman, the perfect spin move for the touchdown.
That's my man right there, man. I love Julian Edelman, man. What a gamer he is to take over for Wes Welker and then win a Super Bowl before Wes Welker.
And the Patriots have a 28-24 lead, but guess what? Yes, Mr. Kraft, it's been a tough few weeks for him and his club. Would they watch a losing effort? Well, how about this? The circus catch. 7 years after David Tyree did it to the Patriots in this very building, Jermaine Kearse does this, Michael Irvin.
And you just knew right here, wow, things are going Seattle's way, and all they have to do now is hand the football to the best running back in the National Football League.
Well, here they do. It's Marshawn Lynch who had another 100-yard effort, but he stopped just shy of the goal line. So the clock continues to run. Now 2nd and goal. Russell Wilson, what are you doing? He gets picked off by the undrafted rookie free agent from Western Alabama, Malcolm Butler, who preserves the victory. And the Patriots have their 4th ring, and it will leave everybody asking, why in the world with Marshawn in the backfield did the Seahawks throw the football?
21 reasons. That was the worst Super Bowl call in the history of the Super Bowl.
We will dissect it, but you can see the many faces of the characters in Super Bowl 49. Pete Carroll, the MVP Tom Brady. He's an MVP for a 3rd time to tie his hero, Joe Montana, and that is a victory splash. The New England Patriots come back from a 10-point 4th-quarter deficit, and they win it 28-24.
Lynch in the backfield. Russell looks, throws inside. Oh, my God, it's picked off at the goal line. It's picked off by Butler. Intended for Lockett at the goal line. Oh, my word, with 20 seconds left. Oh, my word.
Stacked receivers, 2 to the right. Russell Wilson extends the hands he has. Wilson, quick throw. And it's intercepted. Intercepted by Malcolm Butler. Butler has it at the 1. Malcolm Butler stepping in front of the throw. No way. And the Patriots have possession with 20 seconds to go.
You said the worst call in Super Bowl history.
And I didn't stutter. That was the worst play call in Super Bowl history. Then the second demotion, that was the worst decision by a quarterback. You have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. Michael alluded to the best running back in football this season. And you chance it with a pass play. You called a pass play. First of all, that was wrong. But to actually make that throw, that was the second wrong. 2 wrongs on one play. It's leaving everyone. They're leaving the stadium saying, "Are you kidding me?" It's the worst play call in Super Bowl history.
You know, and we can question it. I know one thing. For me, if I'm Marshawn Lynch, this is a tough one for me to swallow. This is tough for me to swallow. If I'm on that defense, it's a tough one for me to swallow. I really don't have words for that call. And I don't know how I would take it with that call at that point in time. You know, and the problem with it, Marshall, the problem I feel with it is because all that has led up to this moment. Now, let me tell you something. You get in this situation, it's about winning football games. And we heard so much about what's going on in Seattle with Marshawn Lynch. You get down on the 2-yard line, 20 seconds, you got another timeout, and you do not hand him that ball. You're trying to make Russell a star at that moment when you have to. You have to hand that ball to Marshawn Lynch.
You got there.
Give him
you got to the 2 by handing it to him.
And Jermaine Kearse made a great play on the ball, but you got to hand that ball.
That's a fluke play. He made a fluke play.
Yeah, and you got to sit here and wonder, okay, how much of it are you trying to take the power away from Marshawn Lynch and trying to give it more to the quarterback? You should have run that ball.
12 for 21.
Yes.
Your passing game has not been successful. You only got down there on a fluke play. Great concentration, great focus. Kearse made the play. But you're not successful throwing the football, and you have a grown man who's hungry
Dion,
in the backfield, and you don't feed him?
I agree with you. I disagree with the play call. The play that was called, I feel like Russell made the throw that needed to be made. That kid made a hit. That was a great play that was made.
What do we say in the locker room? What do we say inside? I said, guys, who are you going to throw to? You're not messing with Browner. You're not messing with Revis, so you only have one place to go with the ball. The kid made a great play, but you can't make that decision.
But the play became a problem when Browner jammed Kearse up on the line of scrimmage. If you have any chance, you get out of that play right then. Unless Lockett has to drive. He has to come across that cornerback's face, and he didn't get across that cornerback's face.
Mike.
He wasn't aggressive.
Do you throw the ball, Mike?
There was a number of issues with the play. You should never have been in that situation in the first place with Marshawn Lynch in the backfield.
That's it.
These guys have gotten here doing what they do, sticking to to what they do offensively, defensively. Last year we had Pete Carroll on this desk. He said, we will stick to what we do. That's what we did against Peyton Manning. That's not what you did here tonight. That's why you're going home without the Super Bowl.
And all I can tell you is where we were watching the game was very close to the Seahawks locker room. The players were walking past our room, and a lot of them were sitting there saying, what in the world did we do with that play call? They were using different adjectives than the ones I just used.
Sean is the heart of your team.
Yep, and he was one of the guys that was not pleased
He's the heart of your team. You do not take the heart away from your team at the 1 yard line. You don't do it.
ESPN's Chris Mortensen reported that 11 of the 12 Patriots game balls used in the AFC Championship game were 2 pounds underweight. It was a false report that remained on his Twitter account until Tuesday. Mortensen went on ESPN Radio on Monday to address the incorrect information in his original report, which came out just 2 days after the AFC Championship game. The Wells report eventually proved the report to be false. However, it took Mortensen until Tuesday to finally delete the original tweet because, as he told ESPN Radio, quote, Twitter, I'm still trying to figure it out. Mortensen addressed the other issues surrounding his report and Deflategate and admitted he could have done a better job vetting the story. He also said he doesn't believe the Patriots quarterback Tom Brady deserves a suspension for his alleged involvement in deflating footballs. Well, Mortensen's tweet might be gone, but Tom Brady's 4-game suspension still stands. Brady and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell are scheduled for a court hearing on August 12th to go over the matter.
Jeff Pash, the former executive counsel of the National Football League, expunged some of the data involved in the Deflategate scandal, namely the 2015 data where the NFL spot-checked footballs following the Tom Brady Deflategate controversy in the 2014 postseason, of course, culminating with some of the balls that were supposedly deflated during the 2014 AFC Championship, which the Patriots hammered the Colts 45-7. Roger Goodell said the whole point of the matter was to make sure that no one was breaking any rules. There was no fishy data that came up in any of the spot checks, so he doesn't know what happened to the data, and it's considered a done deal and finished business by the NFL. Of course, some Patriot fans and Tom Brady might have a different point of view on that.
The evidence that was harvested during the 2015 season when they were doing the spot checks to see how football air pressure actually performed, because they'd never done this before. They had never tested to see whether or not there were deviations beyond the 12.5 to 13.5 pound acceptable pressure range, a number that's just always been there and nobody knows why it's been there. But hey, you know, if somebody's beyond it and we decide we want to whack them, we're going to go whack them. Well, they checked and they realized that you take the footballs out of the locker room, you take them out to the field. On a hot day, the pressure's going up. On a cold day, the pressure's going down. And the numbers were sufficiently close on the cold end, on the cold days, to cause someone, specifically Jeff Pash, to say when the season ended, get rid of these numbers. And throughout the process, you know, somebody always leaks something when it relates to the NFL, and usually because the NFL wants to get it out, so they find a way to leak it. This was something the NFL did not want to get out. No one ever had access to these numbers. They managed to protect those numbers, and then when they got to the end of the season, the order was given to get rid of them forever, which justifiably leads to the conclusion that if we had seen those numbers, the light bulbs would have gone off coast to coast. That even though, yeah, look, the Yastrzemski and McNally text messages were problematic, and they suggested that maybe something was going on. But that's one thing. It's not proof that it actually happened on the day that they claimed that it happened. And I don't think they ever had the proof that it happened that day. They always started at the end point and forced their way backward as clumsily as they had to justify their conclusion that on that day they caught the Patriots in the act. And it's entirely possible that Brady, McNally, and Yastrzemski had something going on that happened from time to time, but on that day, they didn't catch him. And they've been trying to sell for 7 years now that they did.
What I find unbelievable, Mike, having done this for every day for 3-4 years, whatever it was, is that, as you know, this began with the Mortensen tweet that set it all on fire. It was kind of a funny joke punchline until that happened. And then you have at the end, everybody breathlessly reporting on ESPN and elsewhere that Tom Brady destroyed his cell phone. And you're saying that the general counsel destroyed the evidence. Like, the entire process feels like such a miscarriage of justice. Like, at what point did it become we're too far into this? We just need to, hang him against the wall because we've invested so much time, money, and manpower leaking out this information that we have to convict him.
Well, it all went off the rails at the very beginning, and this is something I've heard from various people connected to the NFL over the years. Under a guy like a Pete Rozelle, if the complaint had been made like the one that came up, instigated by the Ravens, presented by the Colts, former GM Ryan Griggs in the week of the game, what would have happened is Pete Rozelle would have gotten somebody on the phone, Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, whoever needed to be gotten on the phone, and would have said, look, we've gotten this complaint, and you need to understand that, they're concerned, and we're paying attention. So, if there's anything to any of this, then stop it. If there's nothing to it, then you don't need to do anything. But we're going to pay attention. If we have reason to think that there's something fishy going on, we're going to look into it. And that would have been the end of it. And assuming that the Patriots would have realized, all right, we got to stop doing whatever we may have been doing if they were doing anything at all. But what happened was they had this narrative. Somebody in the league office, maybe it started with Pash, I don't know, but somebody had this narrative they wanted to enforce on the Patriots. They wanted to try to catch them in the act, and so they launched this clumsy effort. I mean, when you look at the details of how they rushed to the locker room, it was almost Keystone Cops-like, where they can't remember what needle they used when they set the pressures, and then which needle was it? Well, it's the needle that we're going to say it was the needle that generated numbers that better reflect our narrative. I mean, it was a constant exercise in working backward to justify what they wanted to do to the Patriots, and we remember the reporting at the time. It all started with the idea that hang on a second. It started with the idea that the Patriots didn't get punished enough for Spygate. So let's find the first opening we can to whack them again, and that was the opening, apparently.